Great.
This computer. We're going to do this thing right this time. All right, we're good.
Okay, excellent. So this is a slide that or a presentation that I found that I thought did a nice job of kind of going over the basics of Twitter. I was polling folks a little bit ahead of time, and it does seem like beginning is a good place for us to start as far as who's on the call or the video. So here we go. Twitter. I wanted to call it WTF. And be like, not that one, but what's Twitter for? So what is Twitter? Really, it isn't necessarily just about people telling other people what they had for breakfast, but obviously that can be what it is.
You might want to click your, there's a view options or something like that. What we see right now is your BPW social media Dropbox folder.
Oh, still? What?
Yeah.
No, okay, hold on. So you see this?
Yes, that's what we're seeing.
Okay, so let me, all right, maybe go back to, thanks. All right. Okay, so I stopped and let's see, 1 second. Let me see. If I do this, I'm going to try to open it and then find it and see if it'll let me go from there. Okay, so back to share screen. Why isn't that showing up? Oh, here we go.
There we go. Now we have Twitters.
Now if I can get to where oh, for Pete's sakes, where'd it go?
No, I see it now. Now I see the Twitter for Beginners PowerPoint. We are on.
Okay, you see it. Now it disappeared from my screen. Okay.
That's disconcerting, yeah.
So it's advancing. I was trying to put it on, here I can do it. Can you see it now still?
Yes.
Okay.
Beginners with the cute little bird.
All right. We talked about breakfast and very good. So it doesn't mean that you'll be friends with celebrities, but you can try. You're certainly able to reach them, no doubt. It's not going to take up all of your time, but it can if you let it. Obviously, it's like any tool. But basically, Twitter's social networking. They call it microblogging as a service that really allows you to send and read other people's updates, which are called tweets. So like any other social media tool, Facebook, YouTube, blogs, it works in two ways, basically. You can view content that other people create, and you can create content for other people's to view. On Twitter, the content is restricted to 140 characters. Basically, you can put links to videos, images, web pages, just words. It really doesn't matter. And like any other social media, you can use it one way, but it really works best if you do both. So that is view and contribute, right? Mm-hmm. So it is a service or a tool. It really is like any tool, up to you as to what you can do with it. And it does, we're trying to see what's exactly possible. It depends on how it's being used. And now we're at a place that I never thought we'd be as far as Twitter and its prominence in our world. It's kind of unexpected, I guess. So what exactly can you do with Twitter? You can just be entertained. You can follow celebrities that you like. You can follow politicians. You can follow companies. You can follow friends. Pretty much anyone who has any type of public standing is on multiple social media platforms, and Twitter is more than likely one of them. Just being social, sharing information, seeing what your friends are doing, where they are. You can also find like-minded people and search for things that are of interest to you, hobbies that you have, causes that you support, those types of things. You can get news, and this was interesting. to me. Now, and we've seen this now for quite some time, but we don't have to wait for news anymore. Both the terrorist attacks in Mumbai and the U.S. Airways plane when it landed on the Hudson River, both of those pieces of information appeared on Twitter before anywhere else. So basically there were people there witnessing, and they were sharing, and it was news before the quote unquote media got a hold of it. So that's pretty fascinating when you think about it. You can get information. Again, you know, you follow people who are sharing information that you're looking for. You can get, you know, a constant stream really of data and information based on, you know, what your interests are. You can look for it by yourself, but you don't, you know, have to. It's kind of it's like crowdsourcing in a sense. It's a very concentrated area to get a lot of information. You might have to weed through some stuff, but that's kind of, you know, that's just the way it is today. There's no real way around that quite yet. You can get more specific information by doing Twitter searches to find information on specific topics. So this is just an example of what something like that would be like. When you see it's bolded here, it's because these words were entered into the search, and so it pulls all of that. It's a real great data mining tool in that way. And then you can get even more specific, which I have never even, you can ask specific questions. I've seen that happen, where people will ask a question and you're getting information and feedback and answers relatively quickly from literally all over the globe. So that's pretty fascinating when you think about it. Right, as I mentioned, you know, most companies, you know, marketing has changed. In that it's not just a one-way brand to user. They know that they are out there and being interacted with. A lot of companies use Twitter as a means of carrying out customer service, and it can be very effective. It can also be effective when you're not pleased with a company. That's a quick way. They know that people are watching, and they may be more inclined to respond quickly because they know that, you know, good news travels fast, but bad news travels even faster. So they can speak directly to you, and you can speak directly to them. So how would you get started? If anyone does not yet have a Twitter account, it's very simple. www.twitter.com, and it will literally talk you through it. The screen doesn't look like this anymore. It's been updated since this presentation was created, but basically you pick a username, which always starts with an @ symbol. I was fortunate. Mine is literally just my name, @Deneen. I was lucky to get in kind of early and have a pretty unique kind of name. So I'm just @Deneen. Haha. So anybody after me had to pick a number or something. But you know, you can make it whatever you want, depending on, you know, how you plan to use it, but you pick that out. You do have to attach it to an email address. You create your password, and Twitter will literally click, you know, you click next and next and next, and it actually now is set up that it will prompt you to look for contacts that you have. It'll prompt you to pick topics of interest, and help you start generating a bit of a profile so that you have some information to view and people to share your information with. It's really that simple. But finding people to follow, they'll walk you right through that. It will ask for permission if you want to share your like email list or something like that, and it will recommend, you know, if you're have someone on your email list and they are also on Twitter with that email, it will recommend that you reach out to them. Different ways to find, you know, people that are saying things that are of interest to you. You can use things like Twitter search. We follow Mr. Tweet. I'm not even sure if these two are still in existence, but Twitter has a lot of that built in right now. So that's pretty simple. Viewing tweets. This would be what your home feed essentially looked like, and it would just anybody that you're following would essentially just show up in that feed, and you can take a look at what they're saying, what's going on. It is very effective, real time. I tend to use Twitter less because I'm pretty wordy as a person. So those 140 characters, it's like torture for me. But if there is something pretty pertinent that's going on, I know when the Boston bombing occurred, there was a certain reporter that was on Twitter that I followed, and it felt like I was watching it in real time. When they were actually searching for the suspects at that time and all of that. So I kind of got to see all of that unfold in real time, which is really pretty fascinating. But that's basically what the home feed looks like. If you follow someone and you start seeing that you're not really interested in what they're saying, or you don't like what they're saying, it's simple to unfollow, and that we can look at when we start looking at the screens as they look today. Sending tweets. So this area up here is your space to write your 140 characters, and that's spaces and periods. So you'll see there's a new language in a sense on Twitter. It's very abbreviated. You use numbers when you can. The number 4 for in any way, FOR, FOUR, the number 2. A lot of things are condensed because you have that 140 character limitation. I don't know if that's me with feedback. I don't know. Sorry. So, and then links, if you notice, like URLs, if you want to share a link to something, links can be very, very long. tinyurl.com is a place where you can enter any really long link and it'll automatically shrink it. But now Twitter has evolved to where you can actually just do that right within the Twitter platform itself. So they make that really easy. That's kind of the nice thing about technology is, they're responding and they can adapt pretty quickly. That's really the basics of the Twitter concept. Couple other things that you'll know how to do that would be helpful is to reply. So if someone tweets something and you'd like to add a comment or reply or thank you for sharing that, there's literally a button on there that like this little arrow. You click on that, and this will be the beginning of like addressing. It's kind of like them calling out their name. Herdmeister, whatever that is, their handle. But you would reply, and then you would type a message after that. Now, something like that will go out to the public, depending on your settings, your own privacy settings. But if you want to interact with someone one-on-one, not so much in the public space, there's a way to just direct message them. So that's really more of an aside conversation. And then retweeting. Yes.
Comment on that, if you don't mind.
Yes.
I actually just discovered yesterday, and I don't know when they did this, but apparently Twitter is now not letting you direct message people who don't follow you.
Okay.
I was trying to hunt down, apparently, if you have an organization or a company or something and somebody else creates a Twitter account for you, that account belongs to that person. So if you have a social media person, make sure that you always have your login information, because we have that issue going on right now at BPW Colorado, where our former account belongs to someone who doesn't even belong to the organization anymore. And so I tried to send them a direct message to find out who they were and say, hey, can we have our account back, please? And I'll get that off your hands. And I can't send them a message. So there's no way to.
Oh, dear.
Yeah,
Well,
interesting.
Yes, that does make sense. And I can understand that. Right. If you're not linked up, then it's, I guess it's a little bit well, some built-in protection in that too. Yeah, in your case, a real hindrance.
Yeah, apparently that's Twitter's thing. Apparently we are not the only ones to have come up with this. And people say, like, you can, if you have an official trademark that somebody else is using, you can file some kind of complaint and try and get it back. But if it's just a thing where somebody else has your account, you get to make a new account. So that's apparently Twitter's policy on that. You can't retrieve it once it's out there. So might need to
know. Thank you. Excellent. Well, I'll keep that. Yeah, luckily we are in the space where we have a couple people who have access. So that's hopefully avoiding that situation. Good to know. Good to know. One of the other common actions on Twitter is the retweet. I like to think of it as the what they said. You know, you just like, if you like something that someone said and you don't really feel like necessarily reiterating it in your own words, you can just click the retweet button and you share that again. It's also one of the markers of popularity in the Twitterverse, I guess. How many retweets, how many likes you get. Those are things that, you know, things that go viral are retweeted a lot. But that's pretty much what the retweet is. And then at replies are in your notification. If someone sends something directly to you or mentions you in Facebook, it's called tagging. That's where your at username is used in someone else's tweet. You'll get a notification about that just to see, you know, what people are saying. And then the ever popular hashtag, which was actually created by a Twitter user who tweeted one day, hey, what about hashtag, you know, fill in the blank as a means of being able to follow a particular thought process or topic or something like that. So hashtags are, it's just a whole new thing. You know, I used to call it a pound sign, you know, like I didn't quite know what a hashtag was, but now that's what it means. So, you know, there are quite a few. They pop up everywhere. If you find one that's catchy, it's just a really easy way to find anything that's relevant to what you're looking for. You know, we just had the Grammys this past weekend, so hashtag Grammys was there, and if you can go and it would just pull like all the tweets that people use that hashtag in, and then you can essentially kind of get a sense of what's being talked about at that time. There are different platforms that help you sort of aggregate or manage if you have multiple Twitter accounts, like people like Chanel and I, you know, we do for organizations and for ourselves and things like that. Hootsuite, I think, is the one that's long standing. Twirl, and this was, I think it was, yeah, TweetDeck. I used to try to use TweetDeck. It wasn't that functional. And even Hootsuite, I think, has some limitations, but that's for when you're getting into managing multiple platforms and profiles and things like that. So another topic for another day, perhaps, once we get the social media growing. And then this was what's next for Twitter, you know, a few years ago. I know that they were having issues translating their popularity into financial success. I believe that's changing. I think they have an IPO now. I think they're public on the stock market, and things like that have changed. They do now have geolocation technology where you can share your location if you want in your tweets, and they have purchased other platforms and put them, you know, alongside what they're doing now. They are owners now of Periscope, which is a live video platform that's like Twitter's sister, I guess, so to speak, where people can essentially just broadcast themselves live. You know, there were a lot of broadcasts from the Women's March, We broadcasted live briefly when we were in DC with BPW Ohio lobbying for Equal Pay Day. We had attended the AAUW's Unhappy Hour rally. Patricia Arquette was there speaking, or a few senators. So I broadcast that briefly from right there. That was actually my first Periscope broadcast, and maybe only, I think, at this point. But I learned that it's temporary unless you save it. So I don't have access to that anymore, but it was a learning experience. So they're growing, and who knows where they'll be going now. And that's kind of the basics for Twitter. Any questions on any of that? Good. I feel like I hate when
I have a question.
Yes.
My question is, if you have a business email and you have a junk email where all your other stuff goes, which email is it best to use, or do you create another one that's just for this? So again, you're not just clogging up your emails, or how does that work?
Right. So you don't necessarily have to get emails. You can select when you set up your Twitter account what type of notifications you get. If someone mentions you, tweets you, follows you, you have complete control over that. Email notification is one of the options, but you don't have to select it. And I would say just whatever, it's really up to you, depending on, what you want your Twitter account to be and how much you want to utilize the email function of it. It's not really a requirement. I don't receive any emails from Twitter at all, because I definitely get way too many emails as it is. So I just go by, I have the app on my phone, which is nice because you can set up within Twitter's app. I have multiple, the accounts that I manage Twitter for, I can set them all up within the one app and kind of switch in between them. If I want to, tweet as myself or an organization, it's fairly easy. Do you have anything to add on that, Chanel?
Honestly, I don't know if I get Twitter emails because I think I probably filtered those some years back. Depending on what email service you use, I use Gmail, and they have actually the filters are pretty easy. And so what you can do is you can just set it up to say that if anything comes from blah blah twitter.com, it goes automatically into this email box labeled Twitter and skips your inbox entirely. And then every so often, in theory, I would go in and sort of scroll through those things. And in reality, I just let thousands of them pile up until it's a pile, and then I
dump them all. Yeah.
I don't use a lot of Twitter, honestly. One of my really good friends says for him, Twitter is an information out modality. And it's true. And you can do it that way. It's probably not ideal because if you don't go in occasionally and at least do something with it, people will follow you and then you don't follow them back. And in Twitter, that's a big deal. You're supposed to follow people back, especially if they're real people and not just one of those click farms that they links.
So you don't have to give
follow you and then they won't hang out with you anymore.
Right.
So you don't have to give an email when you set it up.
No, you do have to give an email, but you don't have to actually receive any emails there. That's just so you can log into it.
Yes.
Oh, so it's part of your login.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
I actually just set ours up for BPW Colorado today. I should have done it on, live online. That would have been cooler.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Oh.
Yeah, you literally just type in your email address and whatever username you want and whatever password you want and hit go, and it's up. It really is. I swear it's that easy. It's really, really simple. If anybody's feeling motivated to do it, we've actually got some time. If you want to try setting up your Twitter account right now while we've got you online and ask questions and go through it step by step with you, can certainly do that.
Is there anyone that doesn't have an account yet? I think folks may be set up.
All right, cool.
So I see you're recording this. Where are you going to be able to find this recording?
Twitter. Just kidding.
I'll probably put it on our YouTube channel.
On whose YouTube?
The NFBPWC YouTube channel.
Okay. Okay.
And I'm sure I will post a link for it on our Facebook group and page and whatnot once I get that all together. Theoretically, we will eventually have all these things on the NFBPWC website, but I believe it's being redesigned in certain ways, and so some of those things aren't happening quite yet.
Okay.
Any burning questions? Do you want to go through a Twitter profile, Chanel, just to kind of see what it looks like now?
Sure. Here, let's see. View options. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to go log into?
I have mine up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go for it then.
Yeah. Oh, resume share. Look at that. Oh, geez, this has a mind of its own. Okay, can you see it?
Nope. We still can see the PowerPoint.
Holy cow! That's not what I'm seeing. That's so crazy. Okay. Great. Here, let's do a new share and do that. Does that work?
There we go. And there you are.
Yep. So this is my Twitter. All right, so things to look at. Home is basically your feed. So this is my feed here. This is different people that I follow. So their tweets show up here. As you can see, they're coming in fast and furious. Moment is something fairly new. This is a place to go to see what's trending. And lo and behold, it's politics. Shocker. But this is an area where it sort of aggregates what's being talked about. When something's being talked about in mass, it's referred to as trending. And so these are, a few of the topics of the moment, literally moment. You can't even say day. That's just too long. So here are the areas for notifications. As you can see, I just have it set to look at notifications, and it's telling me that 9 people followed me. When people tweet out to me specifically, then I will see it in here in the notifications. The settings area here is where you would go, I believe, to determine certain, these are all of the things that you can have control over, which is really good. And here's that notorious email notification that I have off. But you can set your privacy. Let's take a peek here. Mine is fairly open, but if when you're getting started, if you have concerns, you can protect your tweets where people can't follow you unless you allow them to, basically. If they click to follow you, it'll essentially send you a request, and then you can approve or deny that request. I find it pretty self-explanatory. If you do have accounts that are blocked, I should have yep, I've got a few here, because you can see a lot of naked women like to send requests. And you can usually just tell by the picture. So right away, I typically just block those because I don't really need that in my feed. That's not something I'm looking for right now. So best to just kind of keep it out of my way. It really only takes a second. And then messages would be where those direct messages. So that's a pretty simple example. Trying to see where, we'll go back to my feed here. And you get a chance to kind of describe yourself. There's a character limitation there as well. But just, whatever your presence, whatever you want it to be. You can say as, much or as little about yourself as you want. And then we just have, information. There's always recommendations of who to follow. what's trending. Oh, see, there it is, Grammys, those types of things.
Bad ombre lands. That's hilarious.
Yeah. But yeah, I retweeted this because I did not know this. The founder of Little Caesars, who recently died, his name was Mike Ilitch. He had quietly been paying for Rosa Parks' apartment in downtown Detroit for several years.
Wow.
So he was one of those quiet heroes that sort of did things under the radar. And I thought it was funny because someone, I think, within that tweet thread had replied something like, forget you, Papa John's, or something like that. It's kind of funny. I do get a lot of amusement out of Twitter. People can be genius. And I'm amazed sometimes. I am a very big fan of intelligent sarcasm and making a point through that. And there are some brilliant people out there. So it's a good place to kind of play around. Any place I should go, or any other questions that you can think of, Chanel?
Let's see. Well, one of the things I did today, because we were setting up our first page, is to find, like, if you go search for BPW International, you can go see who they're following. And I just basically went down, and so I probably got every BPW group now on the planet, at least. So I think I've got 213 followees now because
of that. And that's a great way to get started, is if you're in an organization. And of course you can start with NFBPWC and the BPWs. So if I go to their page, like Chanel mentioned, you can see this, and then through here they'll start making recommendations as well. But you can see who they are following, like Chanel mentioned. And they give you a nice conglomerate through there. And probably a lot of them may not be showing up for you because I may be following. See, I'm not following Madrid yet. We'll take care of that. Now there are, or at least there were, and I don't really know if it's still the case, but there were limitations at a certain point as to how many people you could follow. In other words, you had to have so many followers before you could follow so many people. They basically just don't want you attacking a whole bunch of people and following them. Automated kind of accounts to do those kinds of things. So that's sort of a built-in way to kind of protect from that. So if you find that you're trying to follow a lot of people and you follow someone but it's not happening, it may just be that you don't have enough people following you yet. But that's a great way to search. You can even search for topics. I'm trying to think of. Well, and of course, now we can find out pretty much anything that's going on in our current president's mind, because that is his preferred means of communication at this point, which is astounding to me. I didn't think I'd see that.
Is there a special kind of search if you want to go look for a particular hashtag or something? Like, I'm trying to think of, there have been a couple of good hashtags that popped up lately. There was the dress like a woman one, like,
oh yes,
let's comment. So like if somebody says something particularly stupid or offensive out there in the world, people will generally turn that into a hashtag and then just
how do you find
them on Twitter with the witty responses to the dumb thing you just said. So
yes. The internet can be very unforgiving, and also sort of very redemptive, I guess, in a way. But literally, you could just do up in there hashtag dress like they see. It's already coming up because it knows. And then if I do that and select it, it will literally pull all the tweets where people used the hashtag. Oh my gosh, somebody went and set up an account. See, like, it's genius. Like,
Frederick Douglass apparently has his own account too now, which I think is also hilarious.
What was that one?
Frederick Douglass.
Oh, yes.
One who's dead.
Yes.
But he has his own Twitter account, and it's beautiful. It really is a thing of beauty.
People
People
do.
have like unofficial. I mean, there's a reason that the president's account is real Donald Trump, because people will set up accounts in your name sort of snarkily. So I know there's one, somebody's got some kind of alternate reality one for like, you know, if you had one, like, and then they created an account for this sort of imaginary POTUS or something like that. I forget exactly what they were calling it.
Yes, that's a great question.
Tweeting
So,
out the imaginary what's going on right now if, you know, things were different kind of thing. And so, which is interesting. People just do all sorts of really creative stuff with this.
So then I have another.
Just so folks can go ahead.
I have another quick question. When I saw that you're in your home, you had all those tweets on there. Is it like Facebook and they just continue on and on and on? Can you ever delete them or get rid of them or hide them? I mean, because if you're not on every day and then you get on and you've got 50 of them to go through to find out where did I stop last?
Oh yeah, you can never do that. You will never be able to find the place where you stopped last. So don't even try.
Yeah, it's instantaneous and
they just stay
like
there.
Trying to pause like the little ticker feed on the bottom of this, like the CNN news or something. Like it just keeps going. So it's not like it's accumulating somewhere where you're going to have like 100 things that you have to then go through and click off.
Right.
But you'll just miss stuff if you're not on there.
You just miss something. But then I've noticed lately, especially when I'm on my app, it'll say while you were gone or something to that effect, where when I'll click it, it'll kind of grab, you know, a few tweets that have come through since I was last on. Now, if you're looking for tweets that you did, that's pretty easy. You would just go to your profile. I just wanted to show you here real quick. This symbol here, the sort of scalloped badge with the check mark in it, is what's called a verified account. So there's James Woods, the actor. That is an authentic James Woods account. So you know that's him. And this is the current president's official account, which I have not quite gotten up the gumption to follow. Too frequent. I can't. I don't know if I can do that yet. But if you want to look at your own tweets, it's basically, if you go to your profile and you click on your tweets, these were all my tweets. So a lot of retweets, the types of things that I found with some ads. You'll get, you know, a few ads and things like that pop up. But these are things that I've either retweeted or tweeted. We were trying to win a contest, so we took a picture of my husband's burger. That didn't work. You know, those types of things like that. And it can really be about anything, and hashtags and those types of things. Lists is a great way to organize people that you follow. If there are certain, you know, hobbies or causes that you like, you can make lists and put people in the list. I do believe that if you are put on a list, or if someone puts you on a list, you are notified that you are on that list. So maybe not make a list of, you know, jerks I can't stand, because that person might, you know, you were added to the jerks I can't stand list for someone. I don't maximize its use. I will admit that. I don't leverage that as much as I could, but it is an effective way. You know, any true social media manager who's really into, you know, like managing data and statistics, plans and all of that, which is beyond my scope, you know, utilizes lists in a lot of ways. It's, you know, beneficial for many reasons, for brands, for marketing, and, you know, those types of things. So that's kind of that in a nutshell, I think. Yeah, October 2008 is when I joined Twitter, which is quite a look. Wow, jeez. So I think, let's see, I went over that. Any other questions, or Chanel, is there anything that you think?
Anything on the top of my head.
Can you do this is Linda. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you do a search for BPW just to see what comes up?
Sure.
Oh, it had something. Oh, there we go.
Here we
I also
are.
remember that BPW stands for something else, like some kind of industry or something. Because if you just search for BPW as me, as a brand new BPW Colorado, and it doesn't know me, it knows you. So it knows when you say BPW, you mean
This
business
is what I mean, right?
But when I
Yeah.
sent the BPW Colorado page today, it didn't know that. So it sent me to a couple of like manufacturing sites and other like random stuff where clearly it's an abbreviation for something, but I don't know what.
You're right. There is another BPW thing out there.
Huh.
There are quite a few, and if anybody mentions BPW in something, that will come up as well. See, there's
There's
Boulder.
Boulder.
Oh, I'm not
Gold
following
logo.
Boulder. Done. See, and that was how easy it was to follow them. Let's see, who else might be.
So on there, this is Sharon. On there, how do you block somebody on these windows if you see sex stuff coming?
Right. So let's see. This is gonna be tricky. Go find stuff that I don't like so I can.
Probably not right now, huh?
Well, no, it's I should be able to actually. I can show you without actually doing it.
There you go.
So let's do. Let's open up Foundation. Hang on, I have to move my screen over here. Okay, so on here, I think, yeah. So you can send them a direct message. You can put them on a list. You can mute them, which means they tweet way too much and you just don't want to see every single thing they tweet. Here's the block right here. So it's under the gear. And then to report, if people are, and it happens, it definitely happens, if there are tweets that are blatantly offensive, inappropriate, et cetera, you can click on that to report them to Twitter. Although Twitter notoriously, I mean, people have issues with Facebook. Twitter is really not very good at sort of stepping in and helping when people are being harassed, or Leslie Jones, who's on Saturday Night Live, was just hacked and brutalized, and it took basically a backlash from her supporters to get Twitter to finally move and block the guy, ban him. But it took like this massive amounts of support. I mean, it shouldn't take that at all.
Yeah.
So
my only commentary on that is to be a little careful on your social media. If what you want to do is if something someone's saying is just sort of like vaguely annoying and you don't want to see it anymore, muting is the thing to do. If someone has been like really offensive, they're sending you naked pictures, they're saying rude, obscene things to you, they won't be quiet when you tell them to please go away and quit messaging me, those are the people you block. Blocking is sort of like the Twitter and Facebook equivalent of getting a restraining order.
yeah,
If they're not quite to that point, you can just mute them and let them quietly go on about their business, posting their whatever annoying thing they're doing, as long as it's not like offensive or harassing. And so kind of keeping, because if you block people, they will find that out, and then it hurts their feelings if they haven't actually been harassing you or sending you naked pictures.
and you can unfollow them. So you see how I'm following BPW Foundation, but if I click on that, I can easily unfollow them, and then you won't see their thing.
Where are you clicking for that?
So it's right, it'll show up on their page. So this is their feed. Over here it says following, and then if I go on it with my cursor.
Oh, the window's over it. Okay, got it. Okay.
So that's pretty simple. And then if I wanted to send them a message, I could do that, to send a direct message, because I am following them. And then if I wanted to tweet to them, like get their attention, at BPW Foundation, BPW Ohio is doing this, and this, and share, I could do that. And you can do it, multiple people, if you know their Twitter handles. A lot of times if you just begin to type something in a tweet, it'll recommend things for you based on who you're already connected with or following and those types of things. So it makes it a little, easy. It makes it easier that way.
So what is this first one saying? fb.me.
Oh.
And what?
That is just a link. And what this will do when I click on it is likely take me to BPW Foundation's Facebook page. It's probably just a picture that they posted with no commentary.
Oh.
And there it is.
Oh.
So it takes you there. I have, for my individual Twitter account, I have my individual Facebook account linked up, that when I post on Facebook, it automatically also shares it on Twitter if I share something. So it looks like you do too, because if you post something like this on Facebook and you have it connected to your Twitter, but you don't type anything message above it, that's what it looks like. It just ends up looking like that link.
Oh.
Which irritates me. Or it'll say, I shared a picture on Facebook, which is even more annoying. I didn't realize that was happening. And I have a string of a bunch of those, and I'm like, oh, that looks so stupid. But it is what it is. And then go back to mine real quick.
I actually learned from one of our social media folks here locally that apparently anything that says FB dot anything is like an automated link from your Facebook. For every time you put something on Facebook, it just goes there. And so you can set it up to where you have a Twitter presence, but you never actually go to Twitter because your feed is full of this stuff, which was, that was one of the interesting things that happened with our group Facebook page, because our Twitter, I'm like, wow, so somebody's really keeping this up. It's like, look at all my recent posts. So I wonder who this person is that's actually reposting our stuff for us. How cool of them. But it turned out like someone many iterations ago had linked our BPW page and the Twitter, and it was just happening automatically. It has been the whole time.
That's how, when I first started managing more than one profile, that was what I did, because I wasn't really a big fan of Twitter. But I did want us to have some kind of a presence. So I did that initially for the organizations, and I just left it that way for mine. Someone had asked about, I'm trying to see. Now I know okay, so I clicked on this. I was looking to see. I thought there was a way to actually, you can delete one of your tweets. I've done this before. There it is. Okay, because this came directly from me. That one was a retweet. So this, I was sharing, and you can see that's me sharing something that this popped up automatically because of what I shared on Facebook. There was a really informational 2-hour webinar. It was half panel discussion and then half instruction for women who want to consider running for political office. So I had shared that on Facebook, and it automated over here to Twitter, and that's why it pops up with the link. But I did obviously type some verbiage before that. But in this little drop box here, you can see that you have some options where you can copy the link. To embed the tweet would mean that I would basically pull the code of it and put it on a website. Pin it would mean that you basically pin it to the top of your profile so that it's always at the top of your profile. And then if you want to delete it, you can delete it. But as many people have learned, nothing is temporary in the interwebs. Screenshots are a thing, and people, if they see something, viral, chatter-worthy, whatever, knowing that people more than likely, once it happens, will want to go and delete it. People will take basically a snapshot of it, and so it never really ever goes away. But you can, delete tweets if you want. And that's just really from the Dropbox in your tweet.
And if you want your Facebook stuff to go to the Twitter automatically, is that a setting in Facebook?
It is. I believe that's what, wait, let me check real quick. Well,
And the same way on the way back, it would be in Twitter.
well,
Facebook.
now Twitter took it off. Like,
Okay.
it's only a one-way thing now.
Okay.
I used to have it set up both ways, and then Twitter was a little not very friendly
I
initially.
think it's because I just had to turn this off yesterday. I think it's like blah 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 facebook.com/Twitter. See what happens if you go there, because I think that's where I had to turn it off, and maybe that's where we also turn it on. I don't know.
Makes sense. I remember now. This was back in 2008 when I first set it up. I had set it up through Twitter.
Yeah, it used to be that way.
Actually, yeah, so there it is. So it is actually through my Facebook, because this is like the back end of it.
Oh,
So I'm linked to Twitter, and you
okay.
can choose what you want to share. So if I only wanted to share, videos, then I would only click that one.
Oh,
So yeah, these are the other pages that I do. And you see now I only have this one. So
Puppy dog.
yeah, right. But I was using Hootsuite, but I am dropping a few of those responsibilities, so I may go back to doing that on some level, and dropping Hootsuite because I just breathe. Yeah.
just too much.
It's a little much, and I feel like I have to focus my energies elsewhere for a while. I'm still trying to see what that's going to end up looking like. Stay tuned. I don't know. We'll see. Craziness. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Twitter. Great questions, though.
Yeah. 4 minutes to ask more questions.
I have to go find my password and get back into it and see if I can even use it.
Yeah, there'll be a forgot password, and they'll just send you the email to reset. It's pretty simple. I actually, believe it or not, have that issue just getting on here because I'm so keeping it logged in, and I'm on my phone most of the time. And I was in a different account on our family desktop. That's what I used when we were doing these. And I was like, oh, I had to do it like 3 times. Oh, this would be very bad. But
I can see that. Yeah.
It's not very safe, but I have limited passwords that I use because I can't. So that worked in my favor this time. Oh, I have to follow BPW Triangle. Trying to see if there's anything else. Oh, this back here, you can pick and do this under your settings. It's your, what the equivalent of Facebook's cover photo is. I'm not sure what they call it here.
Oh, it's in settings. Okay.
Yeah, and profile pics, those kinds of things. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. If you do have a website or something, you can put that in your link here.
That's funny. If you go into search Twitter, #BPW, besides us, there's Big Pro Wrestling.
Awesome.
Let's get friends with them.
I think there's a lot of overlap. We should contact them and see if we can collaborate on something.
Whenever somebody looks at either one, they get us. Yeah.
That's okay. We'll live with that.
It's good. It's all good.
Right here. This was our ladies that participated in our recent individual development program. Oh, that's cool.
Good.
Yay.
Looks like you have young BPWs there.
So this was Sarah. She is Cindy's daughter. She is 13 years old.
Oh my gosh.
We came to the individual development class and completed. We do 2 Saturdays, pretty much 9 to 2-ish. And she did a 5-minute speech and she did 4. She did a 4-minute as if, what, like Young Careers wise, but was fascinating. She started with saying that George Washington said he didn't want political parties because he felt that that would eventually tear us apart instead of bringing us together. And I found that prophetic. But she spoke to some significant issues, and my heart was aflutter.
I get it.
Yeah.
Chanel's daughter was at the legislative convention, and she was just all ears.
But, well, at least you have ears. Mine is still more interested in Snapchat and what she's doing informal at this point. But I think it's probably because I'm 24/7 pretty much. It's, so I am consuming all that space, I think, right now. So we'll see. I'll let you know in a few years. All that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great way. I've come to like it, especially when I know if I want information like quick, I know, that's the easiest way to really find it and start following what's going on. So it's good and it's fun, and there really are, if you follow the right people, obviously politics is ever present right now, but if you appreciate a good burn, as they say, J.K. Rowling is amazing. She's the Harry Potter author.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear, she is fantastic.
There will be entire articles about people just collating Twitter responses. If you go onto Google and type in, quote, asked Twitter a question. And because they'll inevitably, as so-and-so politician or so-and-so big company asked Twitter a question and it went badly. And then it has like this person say something dumb on Twitter and the people just shred them. And I think my favorite lately was there was some kind of diamond company that was talking about, why do millennials not buy diamonds or something? And they were trying to like inform them about the 4 C's and all this stuff. And these millennials were just like, maybe it's because I'm living in my parents' basement. Maybe it's because you destroyed the economy. Maybe it's because I can't get out of my field. Maybe I just went off. And I mean,
They're boisterous, yeah. They have opinions.
It's amazing.
They're entertaining to watch.
It was pretty amazing when during the RNC, when it was discovered that the now First Lady's speech was not so original. There was this whole slew of it became a hashtag Melania.
Oh no.
And it was it was culturally specific too, in the sense that they were pulling like I Have a Dream and all.
Oh no.
And then it went into like music, and I have to admit I played with that a little bit. I was like quoting Patti LaBelle songs and like stuff because it just went on and on and on, and it's amazing how witty people can be. And how, even when there's serious issues, it can be a way to sort of lighten it for you. That's one of my favorite things to kind of go through Twitter for, is to, find some humor in the, even in the horrendousness, because you have to have some kind of lightness in yourself to keep going, I think. So Twitter can be very, very sharp and snazzy, and I just I'm starting to like it and use it a little bit more, but yeah, it's a day-to-day thing. So 10:03.
Uh-oh.
Any other questions before we go?
Guess not. We'll just have to play with it and see what happens.
Yeah. So, and definitely feel free. I'm at Deneen. Look me up and let's connect if we're not already connected. And, maybe we'll see where we go when we start looking into, maybe even future things like this. I think we'll keep doing this. I kind of like it. What about you, Janelle?
Yeah, this is fun.
Oh, yeah. At least I learned more. I didn't know anything before, so I'm better now.
Yeah, mission accomplished.
Well, thanks everyone for showing up, and thank you, Deneen, for leading this very informative session. I learned lots of interesting things. I actually kind of want to go hang out on Twitter now. I might just do that.
Yay, let's go tweet.
Thank you.
Facebook.
Thank you.
You guys.
Bye.